Hello, my name is Camon Buller, and today we're going to explore the wonders of source code management, specifically the tools we use to manage our source code. We are going to use a website called GitHub, G-I-T-H-U-B. We'll be visiting there later, and I'll be showing you how it works. But first, we have to talk a little bit about what source code management is. For those of you who don't know, source code management is when you are, well, it's kind of self-explanatory, but source code management is when you or a bunch of people are working on a project and you're sitting there, you're coding and doing all this and stuff, and you make updates to the software, and you want everyone else to have access to them. You can put them on the common they're called repositories. The repositories for the specific software that you're using. Also, you can bring down all of the code on the project as there is right now. You can work on it without having to take it away from anyone else who could be working on it. And all of you can put all of your progress and code up on the main repository online on GitHub. And from there on, people can go and pull all of that code down at the same time, and it'll all be right there. It's super convenient. It's really easy to use. And we're going to explain how to use it. So here we are at GitHub, and I'll show you how to get in and out of it. I was already signed in. So this is the GitHub main page. You can see up here it's just github.com. It's not hard to get to at all. For those of you who have never had a GitHub or don't have one already, you first get here, you pick a username, you stick in your email address, and create a password. That's the entire process. Super easy to make a GitHub. There's not much to it. But since I already have a GitHub, I'm just going to come over here, press the sign in button, and type in my username and password. So once I get in, this is the main page. We come down, these are all the different repositories I was talking about. Today we're going to be talking about the Swashu Maps repository, because that is the largest project we're working on. It has literally everything. There's my files, all of the other people who are working on this project's files, and this is the way this works. So when I talked about pulling all of the code down from GitHub, I'm going to explain how to do that. So we're going to come over, click this, and you can just click this once, and it usually highlights like that. So you can just copy that right there, and then we can minimize, come back to this main screen. I mean, you can keep this open if you want. But what we do need is we need to have the command prompt open. So we open up the command prompt. If you don't have the command prompt in your taskbar like this, you can come down to the bottom left-hand side of your screen, press the Start button, that's what it's called. And if you have Windows 10, you don't really see a search bar. I guess you can press this button too and get it. What I usually do is I come down to this button, press it, and I can immediately start typing. I type in CMD, and the first thing should be the command prompt. You click that, we already have the command prompt open, so there's not much reason for it. I personally keep it tasked to my taskbar because I use it quite a lot, obviously. Alright, so to use GitHub, you type in the command git clone, and then that URL we copy, that's just over here. We right click, and it usually automatically puts it in there. If not, you right click, scroll down and press copy on the drop down menu that appears. And then you hit enter. Now I already have maps downloaded into this machine, so it's going to say fatal. But if I was to come over to where I have the maps saved, which is here, if I was to just delete this, or if I just messed it up so bad that I just couldn't use it anymore, I could just delete it, come back to this, type it in again, it says cloning into maps. Now it's going to take a second for the send the request and get everything back. As you can see, I'm almost already got everything back. So we'll just wait a moment. Oh, and it's done. So once it's there, we can go back to where we had it. So there's maps back already. So you saw me delete it. It's back already. Now say if you want to save save it to a very specific place. If you wanted to say save it at your desktop, you should be able to put in the CD, which changes where it's going to be saved, and put in desktop. CD, users, meme walker, and desktop. So we come back here to C, users, meme walker, and then desktop right here. We're going to be able to save it right there. So if we were to, it's not what I meant to do. So if we were to come over again, copy this again, and say git clone, put that in again, enter. Now it's cloning into maps again, and I'll pause it and I'll bring it back when it's done. Alright, so we're back again, and we already have this back up, and since I saved it to the desktop, if we minimize everything and look at our desktop, there it is right there. We can click on it and everything's there just as we want it to be. Now I don't really want it on my desktop, I already have it saved somewhere else, but that was an example of how you can get it in different places, and that's how you get things onto your computer from GitHub. Now let's say, for example, you were using your code and you went in and you wanted to change something. So you come in here, you come to Python. Now this is pretty much good already. I don't really want to change anything. Let's make a small change just to show how it works. Before that, you see how it just says Python research. We come over here, back to GitHub. We can go to that same place, and you can see right here, Python research. Nothing crazy is happening here, but if I want to say it's Python maps research, save, and I wanted to come back and I wanted to add that to GitHub, I would want to say git commit -m, and then we write a comment, and the comment's going to be minor changes to, and what is it we edited? Python research notes. Python research notes, end quote, and then we hit enter. Oh, that's because we're still in desktop. I am a giant fool. CD Alright, well, it apparently doesn't want me to go back, so when this happens, I just X'd out of it again, open up, and we're already back to users meme walker. And I can CD maps, and I'm back here again. So now we're at this right place for us to actually commit. We can once again put in git commit -m minor changes to Python research notes. Alright, so you can see that on here it says your branch is up to date with origin master changes not staged for commit. Let's just say git add period. Now that should fix this particular problem. Git add essentially says it adds all of the changes you made. So you add the changes, you commit the changes, and that essentially makes all the changes to the computer you're. So what I did right here, I was talking about how you're supposed to add, then commit, then push. Talking about it, I, in my giant foolery, decided to just add, then push, which is why this next bit doesn't work right. This is future Camon giving advice as to why I messed up right here. Working on right now. Now, if he wants to make changes to the GitHub, which is where it's online, it's on github.com, you have to use this last command, and it's pretty important. You press git push. And it says everything is now up to date. So if we come back to GitHub, you go to Maps, Camon's files, Python research notes, it should, hold on. Let's refresh everything. You're not lying to me, are you? Okay, so I went back and I went ahead and git committed again. Git commit, where is it? Git commit minor change. This time it gave me this, and I git pushed again and it gave me this, so hypothetically it should work now. I don't know why it didn't work before, but that's why we check things and make sure they work. And there you go, it says Python apps research. So we successfully changed a document and uploaded it, and that's how you do it. Alright, next we're going to be talking about and working on the importance of clusters and why and how we're working on those. Thank you and goodbye.